Hey there, this is Pam Perry's Picks. We are doing Amazon Live today, and I have an author who wrote the book, The Paid Educator. So, right after that, I'm going to bring up Dr. Bisa. Hey there. So we are here with our Amazon Live family, Dr. Bisa. I'll bring her up in a second. But who she is she earned her Doctorate of Education and Master of Education degrees in adult education at the University of Georgia and Master of Education and Bachelor of Science degrees in early childhood education at Albany State University. So I would see the key word here is education, right? Um, Professing as a life goal to advocate for children, Dr. Bisa is actively committed to upgrading the quality of education um, settings around the world in hopes of that all children will have sufficient opportunities to live and learn in safe, healthy environments. Dr. Bisa's mantra is die empty. The cemetery has no use for your potential. So, with that, I bring up Dr. Bisa. Oh, thank you, thank you. This book is so good. When we first connected and you told me about this book, and I was like, okay, I get it. Because one of the first things you said in the intro, it says, "Don't limit yourself. Teaching is awesome, but there's so much more." And this little book is not just what you wrote, but it's what you live, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say, too, for the record, that you taught early childhood education, you taught high school, you taught college, and became a dean. So it's like the whole gamut. And also to run a nonprofit foundation as well, Dr. Bisa Foundation as well. So there is a lot going on. But I want to say that I appreciate this because so many teachers, I always felt, and I told you this before, that they were underpaid. And I think they have one of the most important jobs. And so you really, you talked about it that you didn't want people to leave the teaching profession, but just how to really get more paid. So kind of tell us about the steps of the P, A, the I, and the D.
Pam, for having me on. I always love an opportunity to talk to educators and anyone who is interested in entrepreneurship. So, the PAID is an acronym for Prospects, Allies, Information, and Dollars. The P, prospects, is basically what products and services might you offer that are valuable to others. And I
Mhm.
like to tell my clients to tune into your superpower. What is your superpower and how can you monetize it? And that's
Mhm.
where your prospects come in. Who might be your customers? The A is for allies. We all need a helping hand. We all need someone to either help us to connect to others. It
Mhm.
may not be our customers, our prospects, our clients, but they may connect us to others and they can advocate for us. I give an example in the book of how when I decided to branch out fully on my own, I was a dean and I quit my job, you guys, as a dean after 5 years. And I decided to work as a full time entrepreneur. Well, I had an ally at a university who was able to offer me 2 grants for my business. And that's how I was able to multiply my income and work on my own. And I had 2 young boys, so it was perfect for me. So that's
Mhm.
the A. I had an ally, guys. Who are your allies? I is information. I had to learn more about my craft and monetizing my superpower.
Yeah.
Now we have all these social media groups and sites and ways that we can learn more. How do you charge? How much do you charge? How much is too much? How do you
Mhm.
develop your own a proposal? We didn't have Honeybook and all those different platforms when I started out, but now find out what others are using and how you can develop your own materials, documents, and what else do you need to know to get out there to get started with your business. And then finally, the D is for dollars. How much can you make? And the D
Mhm.
is last. I tell people all the time, if you take care of the P, the A, and the I, the dollars will come. Work your business with integrity, and word of mouth is so important. So the D is how much can you make? Starting out in my business, when I was consulting, way back when, 125 an hour was about the average that a person coming in to train childcare providers was making.
What? Oh my god.
125 an hour.
Oh
And so
my
if you're
god.
doing, for instance, a super Saturday, which is about a 6 hours of training on a Saturday because they're working during the week with the children, you were able to charge 125 an hour, right? So that was a nice little, paycheck, but I was also able to do what I love, educate. But that number has changed over the years. And it depends on your experience, what else you offer, your products. And so based on how you advance your own career, the products you develop, you're getting yourself out there in terms of being more valuable, and people know that your fees are different, right?
Yeah, that is good. That is good. So the PAI, she just kind of laid that out, but the book really explains in detail. And so one of the things that um it's I like this part because it says, teachers, obviously educators, they have this thing that they love, right? So they like people, they like the different depending on what it is, but they all like reading, they all like writing, and most of them obviously they have to speak. And but then also to this fifth part, it says get paid for selling. So get paid for reading, get paid for writing, get paid for speaking, and get paid for selling. And then that's where you kind of talk about the products and things like that. But I like how you break it down. And it's almost like this is a natural for you because obviously you know how to write curriculum, right? So it's like I'm gonna break it down so people can understand. And that's one of the things that I find, and I told you this before, I find that people who have been in the education field do succeed the most I've seen in the online space
Mm.
because of the skill that you have, one, because of the reading, writing, speaking, and also putting together curriculum. I find that you just excel in it because even like you don't know computers or you don't know honeybook, you know how to find the information.
Hmm.
You know how to find the information. So when you said right, so reading, so for instance, a teacher, obviously one of the things they can do, they can make money editing, proofreading, and researching,
Hmm.
right? That's just like really really simple, and you kind of go into detail on that. Writing, I didn't realize when you talked about that, about writing grants, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so. And then, that whole part there, because you do write. So, kind of explain the writing, like in terms of each one, maybe percentage. Like it's like really like reading, writing, speaking, and selling. So, percentage, is it like 25% of the income would come from reading, writing, speaking, and selling, or it just depends?
I think it really does depend. For instance, when I wrote the P.A.I.D. Educator, the publisher, how about her team? On her team, she has teachers. Some of the people who are editing it, they're teachers. On my podcast, the P.A.I.D. Educator podcast, I actually interviewed her sister, and her sister is still working in the classroom. And what
Hmm.
she does as her part-time business is she edits books. So many of the books that you see on the shelves, they are teachers who may be editing on the side. They love to read. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
I think that's important. So it depends on how many books that or how many words. A lot of them charge by the number of words, Pam. So I think it depends on the length of the book or the
Right.
blog. There are people who will write your blog posts for you and edit those. So if you are already working in a space where you love to read, even love to write, you don't have to be an English teacher, but maybe you are. Consider time doing that on the side. Maybe have 10
Mhm.
hours a month to dedicate to that, and you can multiply that income. Again, oftentimes they're charged by the number of words, the length, but that's a great additional paycheck, and it's doing something that you enjoy, and that is your superpower anyway.
I like that. One of the things that you talked about was there was a site, and it's a product that was like the last one. So it was products. And I want to say you were selling curriculum. It was a site. Oh, give me the name. It was Child. It was a site where you sold the products and you said you would go to sleep and you would wake up
Teachers
and
pay teachers. Teachers pay
yes,
teachers.
there you go. Teachers pay teachers. I was like, what? And you were like, yes, I would go to sleep and I'll wake up and you would just have money
Mhm.
based on that teachers pay teachers. So kind of explain that whole premise and what that site is about for people who aren't familiar with it?
Yeah, so Teachers Pay Teachers, you all, it's a site where teachers can actually sell things that they have made, products they have made. Teachers have made millions on this site. Some of them are still on their job as an educator, some are
Right.
not. They're full-time in business, but they've made millions on this site. I still make money on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I haven't added anything new for years. So
Wow.
I
Oh
still
my
wake up
God.
and
I
have
love that. When I read that, I was like, what? I was
yeah,
like,
they send you an email whenever you sold a product. People can review your product as well. And so people who take it seriously and who are on there all the time, they actually have a store. You can go to their Teachers Pay Teachers page and buy their the font that they made for their classroom. And maybe it's a special font for your alphabet to be on the wall, or it's a special curriculum like for a certain
Mhm.
unit. Because sometimes, like a nurse educator, I had a parent one time who was a nurse when I was teaching first grade. And whenever I did the health unit, when we talked about the body, the parts of the body, she came in and supported me with that unit. She was amazing. But guess what? That's the way that a unit can be developed, just on body parts, and
Mhm.
money can be made. People are selling one unit. Worksheets or workbooks on Teachers Pay Teachers and making great salaries just from that, either independently or on their own, or still working. And I want to go back, Pam, to the grants. This is important because I started writing grants because, teachers spend a lot of money, their own money, making sure that children have what they need in their classrooms.
Mhm.
Well, once you learn how to write grants, and even if you partner up with others, one who's really good with budgets, if you're not good with that part, but partner up and write grants, this is how you can fund what's needed in your classroom. And Pam, this is how I was able to support my high school students in earning their education credentials that they could use in the field. It's because I wrote a grant and was able to get funding for all the materials that we needed to implement that program.
Wow. That is, what they call it, out of desperation comes creativity, right? It's just like, it's like, I'm going to figure this out. And that's one of it's the creative things that teachers do. They figure that out because they know they know the goal, and then you find the things in between it. But the Teachers Pay Teachers thing was really cool because you have music on there as well. So
Yes, you
talk
do.
about talk about the CDs.
Oh, okay. So on Wings curriculum, I have music.
Okay.
And so I started out when I was writing Wings curriculum, which is for birth to 5-year-olds. So it's used in pre-K programs and Head Start programs, early Head Start childcare centers around the country. And I was trying to figure out how can I utilize the songs, a song for each of the particular themes, because there's a
Mm.
theme for every month. And so I wrote the songs and had a great partner. I got a chance to record those here in Atlanta in a great studio. And here's the thing, Pam, and when we talk about the dollars, one thing I noticed and I learned with all my credentials, I have 4 degrees, you guys, but guess what? A person who has music, they can go out and speak at the same place I'm speaking. They can speak for 20, 30 minutes, do a keynote, and make 10 times more than I'm making.
Mm.
Credentials or no credentials, because
Mhm.
of that music, because people need that entertainment component usually at their conferences. So again, think about the I, the information, and the D, the dollars. How can you increase what you're doing, improve what you're doing to monetize? So the music really supported my program, and I also partnered with another artist to do some additional music for Wings.
That is so creative. The whole part of that is just creative. It's like, okay, so the childhood education, the preschool, all of that, the high school, and then the dean, and then the college. So all of those things, um, because you liked teaching. It was like that part you liked. You like educating, but it was certain parts of it that was either stifling or just things that you could do more. And it's just the passive income from teacher pay teacher. It's just like you do that once, you don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then producing the book. So the book is actually um Mind Matters, that's yours,
Mind Matters Publishing. No, it's a publishing company.
the
Yes,
publishing
Mind
company.
Matters Publishing. They have a great list of artists, guys, of authors. So I highly recommend check out MYND, Mind
Right.
Matters Publishing. They are awesome. They're amazing
I
at what they
love the feel of the book. I love the interior of the book. I mean, it's a really, because I'm a book person, so I really, really liked it. And I saw that it was very, very well done. So I was wondering, I was like, how, you had the research to find, because you hear so many people that publish books and they have nightmares,
Mhm.
and yours is not one of them, right? And even like the cover, I love it. I mean, it just, you know, I always say people need to know exactly what the book is in a nanosecond, so you kind of know
Yeah.
what this is, right? So it's like, you know what this is about. So you have that this talks about the thing of really being a paid educator. So let's talk about all the things that Dr. Bisa does right now. So you have something that's coming up as well,
Yes.
and the webinars and that you were doing as well. So kind of tell us a little bit about what you
Yeah.
know what the foundation, the your personal brand, and then the other things that you're doing. So that's a lot. It's a
Yes.
lot, but it's all fun because it's all connected with your
Yes,
passion.
all connected. So it's all based on education. And so I started Ideal Early Learning back in like early in 2000 actually. So it's been around for, over 20 years. And that's my consulting training company where I'm training our early education programs. I am actually now primarily supporting school districts in implementing early childhood education in their high schools, and
Mhm.
this feeds the pipeline in our EC workforce. So those high schoolers are so good with children, and they're often offering early childhood education as one of their electives in their high schools. But I want to make sure they earn a national credential when they're done, so they can actually go work in the classroom and be paid well as soon as they get out of high school. Uh,
Mhm.
so doing a lot of work with Ideal Early Learning, and so that's my general company. I also have Wings Curriculum. Wings Curriculum was birthed from the work I do with Ideal Early Learning because I sometimes I'm not always training the teachers on every component of curriculum. I might be hired to only teach lesson plans or only teach assessments. Well, this curriculum, Wings, allows me to teach all the components and give them all the tools that they need to be an educator. And it's automated for the most part now. They can go in and purchase, and they can get their lesson plans, they can get their books, and the company will also offer training on the curriculum through Wings. But
Oh,
again, able to automate that. That was started in 2008. Pam, were you going
okay.
to say something? Yeah.
No, so that was 8. Okay. All
The
right.
two things I do are nonprofit based. So the Dr. Bisa Foundation, I found it back in 2013 because my accountant was like, "Girl, you are spending way too much money that you cannot get back."
Right,
I
right,
like
right.
to give back. I like to give college scholarships. I even like to give free curriculum. I like
Yes.
to do things in my community, and I just needed to do it the right way. And so the
Mhm.
Dr. Bisa Foundation was born, and we primarily focus on three goals: entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
We also support our early care and education through curriculum. So being this how
Okay.
I can give free curriculum away. And
Oh,
then also we're able to support the higher education through college scholarships and
fine.
primarily HBCUs.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
I love that. That is it. So it's one of the things too of getting information, being real knowledgeable about how to do good, and then also too to have like a tax shelter for it as well. You
Yes.
know, so it's something that a normal teacher would not know because you're
Mhm.
teaching, right? So you've got to have the information, you got to have the right coaches around, you got to have the right professionals around you to tell you it's like, okay, so at this point in time, this as an entrepreneur, you need to have these things in place. And
Yes, and we
that's
offered that through the foundation. So I was able to partner with the CDFI, and the CDFI is Community Development Financial Institution, and they're able to provide the funding for us to offer free free business courses to support people in becoming entrepreneurs and running their businesses. So on our website, we have free workshops
good.
that are funded. And then I have to mention also, Pam, what I do now is full time. It was volunteer work, and I was able to build an organization along with our board. So now we have a full time staff. Black Child Development Institute Atlanta,
Mm,
BCI. We
mm,
are the local affiliate of the National Black Child Development Institute. There are 24 BCIs around the nation. And I love this work because it supports Black children ages 0 to 8 and their families for education and advocacy. So we work with adults, anyone who has Black children in their lives ages 0 to 8, adults, and helping them work more effectively with children. So again, it's all connected, but
mm,
and that's where I spend more of my time now because a lot
right.
of my businesses are automated pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if the organization is related to an organization that was here. It was called Black Family Development, but then
Mhm.
I don't know if it's. I think maybe Black Family Development, which is here in Detroit, is more social worker based, and I think
Probably.
yours is more education
And
based.
we do have a BCI Detroit. So there's a
Oh,
BCI in
okay.
Detroit. Uh-huh.
It is okay. I was wondering. Okay, so that is good.
Probably our
So
partner. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's your partner there. So one of the things too, being a thought leader in the education space and really helping other people who are, quote unquote teachers right now. They may be in elementary, middle school, they may be in college or whatever, but this book will be like a reference guide for them to really get started. Do you do the training and things like that, but can some teachers, I guess you would say, hire you, or do you get out to speak at different, I guess you say, teaching conventions or that kind of thing?
Yes. So please invite me. I definitely love to speak motivational, inspirational speaking to support the educators themselves. I know
Yeah.
oftentimes it's around what they're doing in the school, and that's
Right.
fine as well. But if there's any opportunities to support the individual in personal development, because that allows us to do well, even better in the classroom. And I want to make a point for teachers too, and educators as well, Pam. Another point that a lot of the technology component of what I do, I learned it from my work in the school system. School systems are generally on top of the latest technology. So
Yeah.
when Zoom came out, look, when Zoom was really expanded during the pandemic, I was already familiar with it because we used it at the high school.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
several years ago we used it at the high school. So when COVID hit, it wasn't a big deal. Oh, they're using Zoom now. But to everyone else, they thought Zoom was new.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
even Google Workspace and sharing documents and creating a Google Classroom, a lot of that, it wasn't new to me because I go to professional development
Yeah.
in the school system. But I don't want to give all the goodies away because the book has a lot of the information. I'm basically telling them in the book, Pam, what I would sit down in the teacher break room, in the teacher's lounge, if they would allow me to just give them some golden nuggets. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I would
Mm-hmm.
say what's in the book.
That is good. That is good. That is actually what it is. And it's in story format too. So you give really examples and things like that, places with conferences that you attended and all of that kind of thing. So that's what's really, really good. So I just thank you for doing this, because it's like we can have something in our head and it's like, okay, this is good. And it's like, let me just run around and speak all over the place. But it's like, no, it's actually in the book. You can bring me in to speak, but read the book first, or the book can go where you can't go because you can't go everywhere. So that's why this is really good. And so it's on Amazon Live. Click it and buy it on Amazon Live. I see the folks over at Amazon Live with the little stars going over there. Hey, you guys, thank you for joining us over here. And we're also over there on LinkedIn as well, and YouTube. So make sure that you share this around to anybody that you know is an educator, whether they're doing preschool or they're doing, college. I mean, it's something in here for everyone who's in this field who loves like the paid educator method, her methodology, but basically she explains the different ways where you're getting paid: reading, writing, speaking, and selling. And then she talks about the selling of the different products that you can create as a teacher. So that is really, really thing. And you talked about, don't be scared of technology, because that's where you are. You're in the space where you've got to be on top of it. So learn how to leverage it as an entrepreneur. And so go to drbisa.com, because you're doing free webinars
Yes.
every month. So
Every
you
month. Yeah.
every month. So they should sign up on your list and get all the information and all that kind of, stay connected to you, because that's like the thing, right? To stay connected to you, because you do a newsletter every month,
Yes.
and then on all social media, Dr. Bisa, right? Instagram, Facebook,
All the
TikTok.
yes, but I'm gonna get better on the TikTok videos, Pam. I know. I'm gonna tap on the wrist for that.
I think someone saw you on TikTok, and I think it was Dr. Geneva, and she said to me the other day, she says, "I think she's on TikTok." I said, "Really?" I said, "When did she get on TikTok?" I was like, "Okay, it hasn't been too long, has it?"
I did a video with my son right before he went to school in Sweden. I did a video with him because he's very popular. I mean, extreme. He gets paid for his TikToks. So
Oh,
we did
okay.
TikTok together before he left for school for college, and so that's probably where she saw me. That's probably that one video that's there.
That's that what she said. She says, "I think she's on TikTok." I was like, "Really?" I said, "I didn't know she had anyone on TikTok." So that could have been it. If he's popular and he's getting paid to do that, then that could be it. So
Mhm.
yeah, use his influence on yours. That's for sure. That is for sure.
P.A.I.D. Pam.
Right, right, right. He is getting paid doing that. I love that. I love that. So everyone go to drbisa.com, sign up on our list, but go to Amazon right here, get the book, click it and get it. It's a hardcover book, feels really good, really, really a good reference book to have and to share. So Dr. Bisa, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been good.
Thank you for inviting me.
All righty. This is it. This is it. Alrighty, so I'm Pam Perry, and I am out. Alrighty, God bless you guys, and I'll come off of Amazon Live too as well at the same time. Alrighty.